Hello and welcome to this week's Trellian Tuesday. We are joined here today with
My name is Christian. I'm the nose cone responsible engineer.
Right, okay. And we're going to start you off with you already said who you are, what's your major, what year are you?
So I'm a third year aerospace engineering student. I have a minor in entrepreneurship also.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I have a minor in business. I was thinking about doing entrepreneurship one time, but I was like,
Ooh.
I don't know.
It's a hard choice. It's a hard choice.
It's a hard choice, definitely. So, you said it already, but let's get it out of the way. What is your role in Trell exactly?
Nose cone responsible engineer. I mean, it's in the name. I'm responsible for like a lot of the systems of the nose cone. It doesn't mean I necessarily do like every single part of nose cone, but basically I oversee the people in the nose cone team. Nose cone is actually a sub team within recovery itself, but basically we do like all the structure. We do the airframe structural design of the nose cone. We do a lot of the simulations and stuff to make sure that we're using the right materials. Because with how seems a rocket, right? Yeah, it's going to be under really high pressures. So we have to make sure that the nose cone doesn't fail, right? I mean, obviously, but we have to make sure that we're using the right materials and that our designs can actually withstand the aerodynamic forces and everything that is going to be undergoing during ascent. We also work a lot with payload integration and just making sure everything works with the nose cone, because the nose cone is also, the payload bay. And we got to figure out how we're going to, separate from the rocket itself. When it's time for the parachutes to deploy, we got to figure out how to we work on making sure the payload deploys right and everything. Then also make sure the nose cone gets back to Earth safely. That's a really
Definitely,
important
yeah.
part.
That's probably the most important. How long have you been here in Trell exactly?
Well, I first joined Trill. That's actually an interesting question. So I actually was in the rocket engineering practicum, which you do a lot of work with Trill. But
Is
I
that
was
a
actually
sorry?
working
Is,
with,
is that a like a or sorry, an engineering building thing? I
yeah,
can't remember.
rocket engineering practicum. So actually, the teacher of that is Dr. Vanstone
Yeah, yeah.
he's Leon, yeah. And so it's basically something offered by the department. I'm sure a lot of people in Trell are familiar with what rep is, but I mean, basically, we talk about all the systems of rocketry and aerospace and stuff like that. Basically, I got started in that. I got started in rep, rocket engineering practicum. And from there, I kind of focused on a different sub team at the time, but I wasn't really sure like what I would want to focus on. I guess March 2020, basically, I was like, recovery seems like it would be pretty cool. So I applied for that and actually got put in to work with the nose cone, which I thought was pretty cool. And well, you asked me how long I've been here. That's how long I've been here. That's how I got started, kind of.
That sounds like a fun adventure from one place to another. I'll tell
Kind
you,
of, yeah.
my way into trail is not that exciting. I'll tell you. So, what motivates you to actually be a part of trail?
Basically, it started off. I like to read a lot. I read a lot of books about like the space program, NASA history, stuff like that. I got really into that. Actually, one of my favorite books I would recommend for people to read. There's a really good one. It's called Riding Rockets. It's an autobiography by astronaut Mike Mullane. That's one of my favorite books. It talked a lot about the history of the space program. And then also there's another really good one called Leaving Orbit. I can't remember who the author is, but it's about the end of the space shuttle program. Just a quick side note, recommending books there for people to read.
No, that's
But
cool.
yeah,
That's awesome.
so stuff like that. Also, I guess I always liked astronomy and stuff like that. Basically, I was like, I kind of want to work with spacecraft and design stuff like that, or design rockets. So I went into aerospace. I did this program called High School Aerospace Scholars. Basically, I thought it looked cool. It's this thing where they just send you down to Johnson Space Center and you get to learn about aerospace for like a week. You actually get to go like on the NASA campus and do all that stuff. So I did that. It was really cool. It made me kind of put a name more, I guess, to what I wanted to do. Because before then, I didn't really actually have the word aerospace in mind. I was just like, yeah, rockets are cool.
Right, right. So to bring that into an actual question, was there something in your life that made you want to be a part of a trail, or sorry, go into like aerospace or whatever? Because you were just talking about it.
I just really liked looking at, first of all, seeing all the aircraft and stuff when you go to like museums. SR-71, Blackbird, T-38s, just all, that's not like space, but that's, just aerospace stuff in general. I was like, this is really cool. These are really complicated machines. I wonder how they build them and stuff like that. And then I got to see the Saturn V. I'm like, holy crap, this thing's amazing. How do people build stuff like that? That kind of got me interested in it. That got me interested in aerospace. With Trill specifically, I'd been doing some aircraft related stuff at UT. I was doing a lot of stuff like with UAVs and stuff like that.
Really?
I was involved a lot on the hardware side, and it was like, this is cool. But what I ultimately want to do is like space track. So I had some friends there in this organization, and Texas Rocket Engineering Lab it's got rocket in the name. So it's like, maybe that's where I want to go. Maybe that's what I want to do. So that's what sort of encouraged me to look into Trill.
So about space, is it a specific thing you like about space? Is it the rockets? Is it just the cool idea of space itself? Is it the awesome planets?
I just think space is really cool, obviously. And with space exploration in aerospace in general, first of all, it's really complex. And when you do it, it's sort of like historical, it seems more significant, basically. Like there's like almost a poetic like art part to aerospace. Like for example, Buzz Aldrin, he goes to the moon, he lands on it, and the way he describes it, he describes it as magnificent desolation. And then you see like the photos of Earth from orbit and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's beautiful. It's really just cool to see. I guess, like I said, the word I used before, poetic, is the way to describe it.
Definitely, yeah. I'd agree. I think all of us here love that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it. So, what are you
Yeah,
hoping to
absolutely.
do in the future?
So I always thought it would be cool to actually start a space company, but learning about how that works kind of intimidates me, kind of scares me. But I would like to basically work on spacecraft. I think satellite operations, stuff like that actually seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a nice end goal to have. I think everybody should have
Yeah.
a big end goal or something. While you're still here at Trill, what is one goal you are hoping to achieve?
As a nose cone responsible engineer, the one goal that I want to achieve is make the nose cone and make it function properly. But I don't think that's what you were looking for in the answer to your question, right? I guess one thing I want to do in Trell is, I guess, make sure everyone I work with, I can help people who are like still learning about aerospace and stuff and like certain topics that they want to learn about. They can sort of grow and become better engineers the same way I'm trying to grow and become a better engineer.
Definitely,
Because
yeah.
it's sort of unique. Like a lot of people don't really get the opportunity that we have in Trell. I think it's a really good opportunity that I want to take advantage of as much as I can.
Yeah, right on, dude. So let's get down more to specific stuff. What is an average day like for you at Trell?
Usually we confer a lot with like other sub teams, specifically payload, because we have that. That's what we have inside the nose cone is literally our precious cargo. So we meet with them fairly often. Usually we have our regular nose cone meetings where we just get together. We talk about sort of where we are in our current 2 week sprint cycle. We decide tasks, stuff like that. And then a lot of the work that I do, I guess, usually recently I've been doing a lot of simulation work, stuff like that. I guess MATLAB, ANSYS a little bit, just doing a lot of that. But I think in Trell, probably what a lot of us do is a lot of researching and reading and just learning in general. Like, for example, I'll be reading some paper about how they designed separation systems in the 60s for that. And I'm trying to use that to better learn how to make our own nose cone separation system, stuff like that.
That's actually kind of interesting because I've talked to a lot of engineers, while I've been here, and
Yeah.
I've never once heard one of them talk about actual research being part of the daily job. That's kind of cool.
Well, it's not, so to speak, like I'm doing like putting petri dish and researching on like doing actual experiments. It's more I'm just, I guess, expanding my knowledge, because at Trell, like there's a lot of really smart people in Trell, but we're also all students and we're also always learning.
Well, yeah, I think it definitely humanizes engineers because a lot of people always assume engineers just know everything all the time, but you can see that they put in the
Oh
work
yeah.
and research, man. They learn from the best that came before. Before COVID, what was your normal, like, where did you work exactly?
So actually joined Trell. I only had like a couple in-person meetings with Trell before the pandemic hit. That kind of makes me realize sort of how long this thing has been going on. But I guess we started off, in the Trell room, just stuff like that, a few meetings. I would also do like stuff at EER.
How do you feel about the environment that you work in? Your team, the place, yada yada.
So I think Trell is a really great work environment. First of all, I like to think that we're all friendly. We all like actually like to talk to each other. We don't just go into a meeting to talk about like nose code and stuff and then just leave. Like we're a team. Well, we like to have fun.
Tell me about a time in Trell where you like felt proud or successful in accomplishing something.
Well, actually, when I was coming into Trell for the very first time, Trell has a pretty steep learning curve, so I was pretty intimidated, I guess, and I was trying to learn to do a lot of things. This isn't as exciting as like watching a rocket launch. For me, it was just like running successfully learning how to do like this simulation of fluid dynamics. Like, was just a computational fluid dynamics thing. I've been talking to a lot of people about it, trying to figure out how to get this thing to work, basically. And when I finally like got these values that I had been like looking for, I kind of did like, I guess, I don't know, imaginary fist pump, whatever. Because like I was working online. This was also COVID times. I was working online a lot, and when I finally figured it out, I was just really proud. I was like, wow, I actually know how to do things. I actually can be productive and do stuff.
That's the best feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in a rocket organization. No,
Absolutely.
they say like it's not rocket science, but that doesn't work when you're in a
Well, I think
rocket.
if you want to say if you want to say it's not rocket science, but you're a rocket scientist, and instead you can say it's not brain surgery, or
Yeah,
it's not rocket surgery.
So, are there any interesting or fun stories you've had with your time here?
Like I said, most of my trial work so far has been online over Zoom, so I can't have like any like super cool stories that we did.
Sure, yeah.
But one thing that's funny in the Trell recovery subteam is that our principal engineer, Michael, has sort of, I guess, sort of love affair with Pop-Tarts. He always has Pop-Tarts on his Zoom background. And so it's sort of like how do I describe it? He's a Pop-Tart aficionado. So we always like to joke about that.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
I guess it's sort of one of our inside jokes.
I don't know somebody that would be obsessed with Pop-Tarts, but I guess I know
I completely
somebody
understand it.
that.
I completely understand that. I used to eat those things like all the time in elementary school.
Yeah, maybe. Never mind. I'd never ate Pop-Tarts. I'm lying to myself.
No. If I
Yeah.
had Pop Tarts on me, I would be eating them right now.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So we've talked about, what you do. We've talked about sort of how you came about, Now we want to talk about how do you want to leave? Like, what kind of legacy do you want to leave here at Trell before you go for a
It's a
future
very deep question.
Trellians? Yeah, deep questions.
I guess a legacy I want to leave is that people won't be afraid to ask questions. People won't be afraid to like, I guess, do the research, do the learning, and then not be afraid, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to tell everybody. Yeah, that's a positive I can go by. Don't be afraid. So, do you have any internships or job opportunities upcoming?
Actually, I'm applying to a lot right now, but
Okay.
I don't know yet because I haven't heard back from any of them. Probably should have started applying sooner in summer. I mean, if you want to send this video to any recruiters and tell them I'm looking, I wouldn't mind that.
I'll have to ask my higher ups for that, which are probably your higher ups, though. Tell me something interesting that isn't related to Trell.
I'm trying to learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube blindfolded.
How
It's
does that
something I've
work?
been so I'm sure like a lot of people there's like this phase in middle school where I guess people were like really obsessed with solving the Rubik's Cube.
Yes.
Because like you just learn some like basic hand movements and some algorithms and you do those and you solve it. But basically what you do is you have to memorize like a configuration of like a bunch of the pieces. And I guess it's actually not as hard as you think it would. But I'm trying to learn that to actually figure out how to do it blindfolded. And that's my goal.
You're gonna
I'm
like
kind of like at a plateau right now, but that's something I'm trying to do.
you're gonna like show this to anybody or You know.
If I ever actually get it, then yes.
Okay.
Uh, let me think. What else about me? I guess I really like to swim. I
Mm.
swam a lot in high school, and I was a swim teacher, and now I'm a lifeguard, and I basically spend all my time at the pool. And I don't know. I sort of it's like I guess not my second home, but like I guess yeah, my second home actually. So
Kind of cool.
I just really come to love doing that, and
No.
just as exercise, and also like I don't know, it's fun. It's fun to be in the water. It's fun to swim.
Yeah, swimming's fun. You know,
Yeah.
it's fun. I'm not really. I've never really been part of a swim team, so I can't tell you how fun it is. But it's fun.
There's always time. You
There's
can
always
still join
time.
a swim team.
Maybe, yeah.
Olympics, they're postponed a year, so you've got time, man.
Oh,
You've got
yeah.
time.
Okay, I got a year to be an Olympian. I got it.
Yeah, I believe in you. I'm a
Yeah.
swim instructor. I'll help you out, man.
So now that we've done all that, final question. Just
Ooh.
yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to share? It's not really a big question. It's just anything. It doesn't have to be related to trail or space. It could even be like a life thing. Like, do you want some advice?
I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of advice, I feel like most people in trail are only like a little bit younger than me, or some people might actually be older than me. So I don't know if I can offer very much in terms of life advice.
Right. Well, this isn't just going to trail. So if you want to give any aspiring engineers who like swimming and books some
Uh,
advice.
I guess follow your dreams. Is that good advice?
It's good enough. Yeah, that'll work.
Or I've got one to infinity and beyond.
That's even better than follow your dreams because it's way more specific.
Nice. Oh,
All
also,
right.
I wanted to add a book. It's not like a space book, but it's kind of a space book. It's sci-fi. Dune. Dune is really good.
Dune. Yeah, there's a movie coming out for
Yeah.
Dune, ain't there?
Yeah, that's actually what made me pick up the book. I'm not done with it so far, but it's a really good book series.
Really? Maybe
I'll
I'll check
recommend
it
that.
out. Got a lot of time in quarantine.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you very much for coming on for this
Yeah,
week
no problem.
Trellian Tuesday. We will see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Yeah. Have a good Tuesday.